Thanks for doing this. In return, as a return man, there's all kinds of things like angles and acceleration following your blocking and the holes and stuff like that that helps make you explosive. Are there aspects of that you can also apply to your job as a receiver to kind of refine your craft there and improve?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think if there's carryover, obviously, to, acceleration, change of direction. Um, obviously it's a different skill set in a way, but yeah, like I think that some of my return skills definitely translate. What makes me good at returner also helps me as a receiver.
Hey, Jim, Paul Kuharsky. How much have you worked with John Shaw this year on your speed? And what do you know about what your speed is now? How much have you been able to kind of sustain it or maintain it or even increase it as the season's gone on?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Shaw does a great job. I work with him extra before practice every single week. Throughout OTAs, throughout training camp. And I feel like it's helped me and really our whole team just maintain our speed throughout the season as your body is taking wear and tear, making sure that you're refining and paying attention to that. And it shows up like that on Sundays when you have plays like that power return. So super thankful for him and the work he puts in and the dedication he puts into us as players.
Any sense of your numbers and where you are compared to where you were early in the season? Does it track how it's tracking?
Yeah, I mean I hit my in practice PR um last week, so just keeps going up.
Were you surprised by that?
No, because of the work that he puts into us, and just the work we put in before practice, and just continuing to try to get better.
Appreciate it.
Jim, Teresa Walker, you mentioned the returning. You did some in college, but can you put your finger on any specific reason why you've had such great success this year in that position? And I've got a follow up.
Yeah, my teammates really, Coach Bones and my teammates. If you look at that big return, how many essential blocks are made. Mike Brown on the punter, Moose and James on the edge. We just all the guys straining. It's a long play, it's 15 seconds, and just their belief in me to strain. Obviously, I think I have a lot of skill and ability at that position, but without them, I'm not the same player I am.
And then the rookies have been producing and contributing all season long, but it feels like yesterday the numbers certainly seem to back it up that there were a bunch of you all who were, making plays. This group, is there something unique about it, or is it just there's opportunities and you all are taking them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just taking advantage of opportunities, but also, I think that this group's very like-minded. I think they're, hardworking guys. They're really focused and, um, making this place as good as we can make it and continue to grow individually, but also as a group. These guys are, some of the first people in, last people out, and I'm happy that I was able to come in with them, and I'm looking forward to, and I'm excited to continue to grow with these guys. There's a couple of people in the chat.
Jim, then Terry, then TD.
I'm gonna come back around after this, after TD and Terry too. But I guess Jim, just how much experience is experience helping you? And I guess I'm referring to maybe just your instincts, your ability to hit it, react faster. Now that you've got 10, 11 games under your belt.
Yeah, I think experience definitely helps. I think there's an element of returning that is um, God-given, with the ball in your hands. But I mean, me and Bones go in and watch extra film all the time on just watching other guys throughout the league, watch what I do. Um, and then also just the guys in the core and on the outside refining. If you look at the return the other day, just um, Micah and Womack, like they gave me so much space to be able to make a play, and that's not an easy job being on the island. We have a lot of one-on-one, so I think just myself improving every single week and learn from past games, and also just us as a unit doing the same.
And how much? I know you would like the one back where it went out of bounds at the three. How much
Yeah.
do you learn from something like that? How were you able to kind of block that out and just keep on going?
Yeah, I mean, it's just learning from that example, right? Like, do you let that on the sideline bounce first, see if it goes out of bounds? Um, I think I was thinking about my feet more than I was thinking about the ball at that point, which you can't do. Um, so stuff like that, being able to learn. And what was the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
That was mainly it. Just how you keep a play like that from getting
Oh
you down,
yeah,
and whether you yeah, and it sounds like you answered that kind of there on putting it behind you.
yeah, but also I can kind of touch on that. Just, I mean, I'm gonna make mistakes in games going forward. You know what I mean? Now, hopefully they're few and far between, but like that's part of the game, right? Like um, the ability to be able to move on and put yourself back in position to win games. NFL games are long, and if you're not able to do that, you're not only hurting your team in that moment, but you're hurting your team for the rest of the game as well.
Kim, a lot of people, fans and even some of your teammates talking about how you need to be selected to the Pro Bowl, you need to be all pro, those types of things. How do you react to such talk? And could you have ever imagined that type of thing coming around as a rookie?
I mean, I'm very thankful for the support all of our fans provide for me and our team. Um, I'm focused on just being able to play as good as I can every single week. Obviously, I have individual things that I want, but I think that it really just comes from um, being able to be where your feet are every single week and taking advantage, and all the rest of those things will take care of themselves.
Jim, a couple weeks ago, was a Texans game. You got rocked, and that's how you got the chest contusion. I'm curious, just because some guys that happens, and then they don't go out there and play with the same no fear approach, but you clearly didn't have that. So I'm curious, like, what did you work through? How did you focus yourself to be able to go back out there and not have fear after taking a hit like that?
It was really two parts. First of all, that's part of the game. I've been hit
Yeah.
before. So, if you don't like getting hit, you probably shouldn't be playing football. Obviously, I don't want to get hit, to that capacity as little as I can, just health wise. But at the same time, like I love this game. I love competing with my teammates. Um, I love being able to be out there. When I was back in the locker room, all I wanted to do was get back on the field. So, and help my team. So, when I had the opportunity on Sunday, I couldn't let that slip. And then also, I had my brother out there with me yesterday. My calls, my cleats. I knew that um, if he had the opportunity, he would take full advantage of it. So just being able to do that for him and with him was amazing.
And then having played baseball, back in high school, it was center field, right? Or you were outfielder?
I played outfield and shortstop. Really played every
Okay.
position growing up, but outfield and shortstop were my main two.
Okay, and then like Coach Foster, he always talks about your ball skills, how you track the football. How much did like playing baseball? How much did that kind of correlate or translate to being able to track the ball the way that you do?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. I mean, I think you know, if you compare anything in sports, even punts in youth sports, compare the best thing or closest thing to NFL punt is a baseball, fly ball. So being able to have that experience and tracking ability definitely helps me for sure.
What made you choose football over baseball? Was it just you were better?
No, I was probably best at baseball. My pops was kind of mad when I stopped playing travel ball at like the highest level because I want to play basketball and football more. Um, but it was really the practice were boring.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Jim?
Hey, and I was going to ask you, Jim, about Kai. I know you how proud you were to wear his cleats, and I noticed you pointed at him after you scored. What was that like? That moment, and then kind of being able to shed a little more light on him, and what he was as a friend and a person.
Yeah, it was super special. I knew if I got the opportunity, I wanted to do something. Um, I was talking to his dad yesterday, and um, you know, the work that they do is truly amazing. Like to be in the position that they were when they were losing their son suddenly, like they did. Obviously, losing a child at any time is hard, but when it comes sudden like that, I can't even imagine. And the first thing they did was think about other families and how they can help other people. And, that inspires me. I think, I'm a man of faith, and I think that one of the things we're put on the earth to do is serve other people. So the fact that I can have this platform and be in this position to just give a small piece to be able to highlight what they're doing and the work that they put in and the selflessness they have. It's definitely a blessing for me, and I'm just thankful for them and my friend as well, my brother that's looking over me.
How did you let them know? I know when I talked to you, you had not told them yet you were wearing those cleats. How did that news go? When did you end up telling them?
I told them the day before, like all the release, I just sent them some pictures and just told them that Kai be on the field with me Sunday, and yeah, I reached out to them both.
And then you say you talked to the dad yesterday. Did he see the return and see you point to the shoes?
Yeah, he saw that. He was watching the game.
What did he think about? What did he tell you about that?
He said thank you. That it already had brought in some donations. And to think of Kai, and he said it was really special for him.
What's his dad's name?
Mike.
Mike. Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
I think we're
all good, Jim. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
The couple explosives that Smith and Jigba had, what do you learn from that, and how do you gather that and carry that forward the next time you see something like that coming at you?
Yeah, for the first one, no matter what, I have to stay out there in the post. I can't, even though no matter what I see low, I have to make sure I stay in the post, help my guy, especially with, my, Monty Hook on, that best receiver, just being able to, play over top and help him out there and then rally down to tackle the low piece. And then the second one, just staying inside of the hash on that one, staying inside of him on that one, make sure it doesn't cross my face. And if I do get in a situation like that, speed turn into him. And then that's how, to do better on those two for the next time.
And where are you at as far as like you see how they set it up, with the motion for Smith and Jigba first, and then the tight end on the second one? Like, where are you at as far as like being able to see that, identify it, and know what's coming?
Yeah, I'm at a great spot with that as well. The more I see it, the better I get with it. Obviously, in that moment, I have to be better in that situation. But even with communication with Amani Hooker, constantly talking with each other throughout what we see, and we talk through that kind of stuff all the time. When we're in meetings and everything, and even when we're on the field, we talk through that kind of stuff.
Hey, Kevin, I know you were in rehab a lot through the early part of the season and stuff. I know Cody Barton tries to rally guys to that Friday afternoon arm farm or Armageddon or whatever he calls it. Have you been able to be part of that? Is that something that draws you in? You roll through there on Friday afternoons at all?
I haven't been yet. I haven't been able to make it to that yet. But normally, because I have been, doing rehab and getting that stuff on those Fridays. But I'm looking forward to getting to one of those soon.
What do you hear about it?
Just the guys getting together is always a good time. That's what you're referring to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just those guys getting together. Always the morale of the team. How we bond together. That always relates to how we go out there and play on the field and how we play together as a team. So we get everybody together to bond like that. It helps the team around get guys together.
Kevin, you
You're
guys
gonna
going
have
through most. Sorry,
you
Bob.
amongst the bigger bicep guys in the DB room?
What'd you say?
You among the bigger bicep guys in the DB room?
Oh yeah, I say so. I say so.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Kevin, in going through a season like this, not only with the injury, but the team struggling to find wins, what have you kind of learned about yourself, as a player and as a person, in going through stuff like this?
Yeah, I say for myself, when going through adversity, whether it's injuries or whether you're losing or winning, you have to remain the same. You can't get too high or too low, and no matter how much success you have, or no matter how much you don't have, you have to come in and work the same way, no matter what. And that's how, I know eventually we're gonna get to a great spot in with our team and everything, and everything's gonna be, we'll appreciate the moments that we went through, but in this time right now, we just have to stay at it and keep doing what we've been doing, and getting better at everything, coming in with the same attitude every day, coming to work hard and just find a way to get better each day.
In making the transition from college to the NFL, what's been the easiest part of it for you, and what do you feel like's been the most challenging part of stepping up to the next level?
I say the most challenging part is just I say the speed. When I say the speed of the game, just how these quarterbacks see things, how these receivers, it's just the little things they do. It's all the small things with this game. Obviously things you can get away with in college that you can't get away with the NFL because they're gonna, they find that one thing or see that one thing you do that gives a tail. They're gonna find it right away and they're gonna capitalize off of it. It's just those little things that has made it more challenging and just understanding that the more I see it, the more I do it, the better I get at it. But that's been the biggest thing. And being with Coach Jack, he's been obviously I missed all of spring and all those times to get those reps, but with Coach Jack, he put me in a great spot to whereas now I'm able to go out there and see things the way I should, and he's allowed me to kind of speed up my my growth and how I see things and everything. But when it comes to easiest, I just say at the end of the day, football's football. So when you get out there, you have to compete like you're the best and go out there and compete with these guys. Everybody, all great players all over the field, but the easiest part is just going out there and just flying around and competing.
Gavin, a couple of weeks ago, you joked that those first couple of games you played felt like your preseason because of how much time you missed. I guess, first off, do you feel caught up at this point? And when did you kind of start to feel like you were playing at the speed that you wanted to be playing at?
Yeah, I feel caught up to where, obviously there's so much to get better at, and, I'll never be comfortable where I'm at, but I feel like, I'm caught up to where, being able to play how I want to and everything. And I say, last week it was sort of the Chargers game where I started feeling like myself again and moving like myself again. But last week was definitely that game where I felt like I'm starting to feel like myself again for real. But, even this game, just the more and more I'm on the field, it gets more and more comfortable. And I just the more I'm out there is how it gets better. But even in practice, going through reps in practice, everything just the more I'm out there, the better it gets. But I say last week was really the game where I felt it.
For those of us who can't see with the naked eye, how do you know when you're playing like yourself?
I can see it on film, but it's mainly a feel thing. feeling myself coming out the break, feeling myself when I go to deliver a hit, feeling myself when I'm playing man coverage on a guy and being able to run with them. And then, when I watch it on film, I can tell, my footwork and how it looks and everything. So it's just the biggest thing for me now though is feel. Just everything feeling more comfortable. Coming off the injury, certain movements didn't feel right. It may look okay, but I just didn't feel like myself. And that was kind of what I was going through the first couple games, fighting through, what I had a hamstring, what it was my knee, and going through that. But where I'm at now, none of those things are an issue now, and I feel like I could just go out there and just fly around and play as fast as I want.
Jim?
Kevin, I'm just curious, like, what was feedback like or support like when you were kind of battling your way back, waiting for your time, and then what's it been like, I guess, since you've been back out there? What are people telling you?
Yeah, the support was great, during my injury. Obviously, Jeff Simmons was a guy, he had the similar injury when he came in, and he just told me, he understand what I'm going through. It's an isolated world where everybody, kind of you've been rehabbing all this time. You get here, you're still rehabbing. You're not out there able to practice, and it's like all you want to do is play football, but you have to show up here early every day, rehab. And he just told me stay at it because when just make sure you stay ready, and when the time comes, make sure you take advantage of it. And having somebody like him, obviously a great leader on the team, great player on the team, it made the process much easier. And then obviously the whole safety room, Quandre Diggs was one big person that, talked to me all the time, just about being patient and, not rushing it because when the time comes, you want to make sure that you feel ready and that you are ready. And, since I've been back, everybody that has been around me, and I give a big shout out to the safety room all the time, all my vets, Amani Hooker, Xavier Woods, and then Quandre Diggs, who was also with me, just having their support system, obviously coming back from the injury, getting those in-game reps. There was a lot of stuff that I had to work on that I hadn't seen yet, that I hadn't been able to go through and put, the work in to do it, while I was injured, but having them around, having them, pushing me, having them, being there. It's great having Coach Jack, who is an amazing coach, but when you have also some vets that can, be in your ear about how they see it and their different angles, different viewpoints, it makes it much better.
And obviously nobody wants to be 1-10, but how much does youthful exuberance, and I'm talking about the rookie class here, kind of keep you guys afloat and pointing to, hey, better days are ahead, especially as a lot of these guys in this rookie class are making plays for this team?
Yeah, that's great to see. All the rookies that, when we first came in, we wanted to make sure that, we were all, came in ready to play and, to ready to contribute. But, even looking past the rookie class, we look at everything, for the team. We like to, for me, I like to stay where my feet are. And, that's with this team right now. And, we just have to figure it out. And, we watch games and I see how close we are in games and how far we are just right from winning that game. And, the future may be what it is. But I focus, I try to make sure we focus on what's right now. And right now, we're just trying to figure out how we can get these next wins and get these wins and get it going now for the end of this season.
How's Marcus doing? I know you guys are buddies too. How's he doing? And do you think he may have close to having a pick six yesterday?
Oh yeah, Marcus is doing great. Obviously, he's been doing amazing since he's got here and since he's gotten here, and just watching him go while I was injured, just seeing how he, came right in, understand the scheme and how he's doing now. It's amazing to see. Obviously, yesterday he's more mad than anybody else about that pick six, and I'm sure we'll see him in that position again, and he'll make sure to take that to the house. But it's great to see him out there competing and doing what I've been seeing him do since camp, since rookie mini camp, and it's great to have somebody a rookie like that with me going out there and competing.
Just throwing in a flyer on this one, but I know Blaine Bishop, who hangs around a lot, wore that 23 here. Have you encountered him during your time here? What's he told you about representing that number?
Oh yeah, I've talked to him. I actually, I sat down with him and talked to him, and it was great talking to him. Just how he explained the game. Obviously, that old school mindset, and that's, I love to hear that old school mindset of how to play safety. And obviously, you guys know everything about how he played the game and how, much credit to him and how amazing he was here as a Titan. And representing his number, I have to make sure I go out there and represent it right, and I take pride in that and making sure that I don't let him down in his legacy wearing that number. And I continue. I plan on continue to do represent it the right way.
Okay, I think
Appreciate
that'll
it,
do it. Thank you so
appreciate you
much,
guys.
Kevin. All right,
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
PR.
Appreciate you. Have a good one.